Okay, hello everybody. So I hope you guys are having a good week. I'm sorry that I have been gone for so long. I missed last week because I came back to Kansas. As you can see, my background's a little different, but I came back to Kansas last week. And so I am just trying to adjust being back and getting everything done and having uh, other things to do other than taking care of pigs and chickens and other animals. So um, I realized with my other job today that I have meetings at 1 o'clock. And so I decided to pre-record the Play Thursday because I didn't want you to miss out. This will be the last Play Thursday for right now, just because of my current schedule. It's just not feasible for me to do it. But I wanted to do a really cool play. Now, I have not seen this play. I have read it. A lot of you have read it as well. But I have not physically gotten to see it because it's pretty new on Broadway. A lot of my friends got to. I was a little jealous, especially after reading it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Um, so for theater knowledge for today, I just want to talk about the whole situation that's happening right now. Obviously, almost every theater is closed. If not every theater, I know there's a couple of theaters that are still working on shows and things to bring back after this whole quarantine thing is over. But a lot of theaters are closed. And what I want to make sure is that you are not um, losing your artistic outlet, because it has been very difficult for me personally because I haven't been able to work on a show. I haven't really been able to design anything for a show. I haven't gotten to think about what shows I'm wanting to direct or what shows it's just hard because nobody knows what's going on. I don't want that to push someone back from the dreams that they have to go direct, to go design, to go act, to go do anything. And so that's why I encourage you. I'll put it in the link with the description of this video. But to go on the National Theater's YouTube page every week and go watch productions that they put on. Go find free productions all over the internet right now because theaters are closed. They are they are going to be closed until they feel like it's comfortable for people to come back and that it's safe for people to come back. And it's not anyone's fault. It's more of just wanting people to be safe, and it's for people wanting to make sure that the audience can have an enjoyable time without worrying about I'm so sorry about those dings, without worrying about people's safety and looking around and making sure that you are in the play instead of worrying about different things like that. So one thing that I do want to talk about is the light tradition in theater. What this is that whenever a theater is closed, um, they will leave one, like if it's closing down, or if they have to shut down for a while, they will leave one light on to show that there is still a show, that there is still a theater, there is still a light coming through the theater, and that there are still people who really care about the theater and the theater experience. And then, and it's just really cool that almost every theater in Broadway is doing it right now, every theater in the country. One second. Sorry. That every theater in Broadway and every theater in the country is doing this, and it's just a tradition that we hold as theater people. So this is, as I saw from Broadway, this is not the end. This is just intermission, and we will open back up hopefully soon. But we just want to make sure everyone is safe and healthy and happy when they come see the shows. So today's play is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Once again, I have read this play. I have not seen it in person, which is sad because I want to see it in person really, really bad. But for spoilers, if you have not seen Harry Potter, if you haven't seen Harry Potter and you don't really know what happens in Harry Potter at all, which I don't, then you probably should not watch this. You can. It's a good play, but if you don't understand who's connected to who and what's kind of happening, it doesn't really make sense. Also, spoilers for the younger kids who maybe have just started reading Harry Potter. Maybe wait till after they're done reading it to watch this video, just because a lot of this, it's 19 years after the Deathly Hallows. So, there's a lot of spoilers just from that. So the play begins about 20 years after the Deathly Hallows, and it starts with Albus Potter, so that's Harry's son, and Rose Granger Weasley, which is Hermione and Ron's daughter, that they're about to go to Hogwarts for the first time. So they're at King's Cross Station, and Albus is worried that he's going to break the family tradition, because his parents, Harry and Ginny, were both in Gryffindor, and so we're both of Harry's parents, and so he doesn't want to break that tradition for his family. And so Albus gets on the train to Hogwarts, and he meets Scorpius Malfoy, which is Draco Malfoy's son. And both Albus and Scorpius, when they get to Hogwarts, are sorted into Slytherin, which is very kind of ironic because the entire time Harry was getting sorted in the books, he was begging to be put into Gryffindor and not Slytherin, and then his son gets into Slytherin. So rumors start surfacing about Scorpius's birth, and it's made him kind of an outcast because of it. And it's because Draco, who is Scorpius's dad, is worried that Voldemort used a time turner, so that's something that makes you go back in time if you don't know, and that Voldemort used a time turner to go back and make his wife pregnant with Scorpius. And so Draco asks Harry if all the time turners have been destroyed, and it seems like they really have. And so, but obviously, even though they say there could be some still sitting out there. And so the Diggory family, hold on. So Cedric Diggory, aka Robert Pattinson, was the one who was killed by Voldemort during the Goblet of Fire in the Triwizard Tournament. And so he comes to, the Diggory family comes to Harry to ask him to go back and save Cedric from the Triwizard Tournament, because Harry works in the Ministry of Magic, so he would have access to the rest of the time turners if there were any. And so obviously that they said no. And so it goes ahead to Christmas. And Harry gives Albus his own baby blanket, which to Harry was like a really big deal. Something that used to be his is now his son's. And Albus seems pretty like underwhelmed about the gift and just doesn't see the value in it. And so him and Harry begin to argue about Albus's trouble at school, just about how he's upset, not really wanting to participate because he's in Slytherin, and other issues that he's having at school. And Harry, out of frustration, says that he sometimes wishes Albus wasn't his son, which obviously is not a true representation of what Harry feels deep in his heart, but in a moment of anger, that's what he says. So Albus leaves and goes back to Hogwarts, and Harry's scar begins hurting for the first time in over 20 years. And that only happens when like bad things are about to happen or if Voldemort is around. And so Albus and Scorpius offer to help the Diggories and go back in time to stop Cedric's death and having him win the Triwizard Tournament. And they steal the Polyjuice Potion and sabotage Cedric in the first round of the game. So Cedric loses the first round of the game. And young Harry and Draco see Albus and Scorpius outside, and so they return to the present because they only have 5 minutes left on their time turner. And Harry is warned by a centaur named Bane that there will be a dark cloud around Albus if he continues to use the time turner the way they are. And so Harry just kind of, I think, assumes that it's Albus's fault. That it's Scorpius's fault that they went back in time. And so he tells Albus to stay away from Scorpius. And so the next day, they wake up and things are different. Ron is married to Padma Patil. Hermione is now a teacher at Hogwarts, and Albus is now a Gryffindor. So it's like, yes, things are working great. And they go back to sabotage the second task now. And when they get back, they're informed that Umbridge is headmistress, and that Harry was killed during the Battle of Hogwarts. And actually killed, not oh, he's dead, and then he wakes up. And so Scorpius goes to Severus Snape, who is alive now, due to how they changed the time. And so Snape takes them to the Order of the Phoenix, where they get a time turner, and they go back, and Albus is prevented from casting his spell on Cedric from when they went back the first time. When they return, Dementors arrive and suck out Ron and Hermione's souls, and Snape is also killed. This is to reset everything. Scorpius goes back and finds Albus alive. They decide they should destroy the time turner. They hand it to Delphi, who they thought was a Diggory the whole time. This is the person they were talking to. But they learn that she's actually the daughter of Voldemort. And she threatens to kill Scorpius if Albus does not go back in time and make Voldemort the ruler. So, like, go back to that time during the games and make him come back fully. And so she takes them back to the maze portion of the Triwizard Games from the Goblet of Fire. As Delphi is torturing Scorpius, she is struck by Cedric because he thinks it's a part of the games. And so they all three go for the time turner. It starts taking them back somewhere, and then she gets it. Delphi gets it and destroys it. They have been transported to an unknown time to them. They have no idea where or when they are, and they realize very quickly that they are at Harry's house the night that his parents are murdered. And so Delphi goes to stop Voldemort from killing Harry because if we remember from the Deathly Hallows, when Voldemort casts a spell on Harry to kill him, it rebounds and Harry becomes a Horcrux, and an unknown Horcrux to Voldemort. And so she wants to stop him from doing that, so that it doesn't rebound, and then he can just, like, somebody else can kill Harry, and then he'll rule forever. And so Albus and Scorpius send a message to the present through Harry's baby blanket, because they knew he would see it when, you go back to the present when Albus is opening it. And so Draco had saved one time turner, and Harry, Ginny, Ron, and Hermione travel to the date that Harry's parents died, and they're obviously there. And Delphi, when they get there, Harry disguises himself as Voldemort with a polyjuice potion, and he leads Delphi kind of away from the boys, and distracts her by being Voldemort. And Delphi confesses that she is his daughter, so Voldemort's daughter. She's the daughter of Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange, which is like the crazy-haired laugh lady. That's what I describe her as. And so the potion begins to wear off, and she realizes it's Harry. Oh my gosh. And so they begin to duel, and Albus helps Harry defeat Delphi. And so they hear Voldemort coming to the house, and there is nothing that they can do to stop the death of his parents. Because if they were to do that, it would change time and reality so much, and Albus probably wouldn't even exist. And so Harry actually has to watch, the thing that started this whole 8-story chain, which was he had to watch his parents die. And so it jumps to the present, where Scorpius tries to ask Rose Weasley out. She says no, but she tells him maybe in the future, so there's still hope for them. Harry pledges to be a better father, and he sees that he was looking at Dumbledore and Snape's accomplishments, and trying to measure up to those instead of just being the father that he should have been the whole time. Both Harry and Albus are filled with hope and joy that their bond and relationship as father and son can flourish, and that's kind of how the play ends. It is a really interesting story. I love the fact, just thinking through, I've seen some pictures of the set and some pictures of them doing things, but just getting to see, thinking design-wise how they did a lot of it is super, super cool. And I don't know, it makes me really like this is a show I would love to design, or a show that I'd love to direct, just to be able to figure out all these kind of almost movie qualities, but put them on stage. So themes for this play is the past. It shapes who we are, It doesn't define who we are, but it shapes who we are. And we shouldn't look back on things that you cannot change because they made you the person that you are today. A lot of times, things in your past make you a lot stronger because you go through things, and getting to see them firsthand, that's what makes you stronger as a person. Father-son bond, it's not always going to be easy to have a parent bond. I can't say anything because I'm not a parent yet, but I know it's not easy to have a father-son bond. It's not easy to have a mother-daughter bond. But you have to be well connected, but it's okay to be dysfunctional because everyone is dysfunctional. But throughout your relationship and the dysfunctionality of it, it will make you stronger as a pair. And the last theme that I looked at is a role of a parent. Your child wants to be you. Your child wants to be as cool and interesting as their parents. So no wonder Albus wanted to go on this big adventure and do all these crazy things because his dad's Harry Potter. And so even though they don't live up to your expectations, to still be proud of their accomplishments, to still be happy about their decisions, even if they're not the ones you may not have made, just because they may be proud of what they've done, even though you don't see it that way during certain things. There are certain things that do not go in that category. But so the other thing to talk about with this show is the way you watch it. You actually have a matinee show for Act 1 that you go to in the afternoon. So matinee is like a 2:00 show. And then you get the first act, and then the second act, you actually come back that night at 7:00 at night to watch the second act, which is super cool. I don't think I know any other show that has done that. There probably has been, but I don't know. So if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Obviously, I can't answer them right now because it's pre-recorded. If you are a high school student and you're really interested in going to theater and you want to do it for college, please reach out to me because I would love to help you, and I would love to give you some advice, stories, whatever you want to hear that will make you want to do theater in college if that's what you want to do. I will be back one more time in July for a Musical Monday. I'm going to wait for the premiere of Hamilton on Disney Plus. Amanda, I'm getting you Hamilton. I just want to wait till then so that people can actually watch it and then we can talk about it. I think that would just be a little bit better. Please remember, please watch as much theater as you can online right now. It's a really good source. It's a really good tool. And I just hope that you all continue to create and be inspired. And I hope you all know that I love you and just keep creating. I will see you guys next time.